Hello YouTube and welcome to this edition of Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. I'm Ronnie Humphrey. I greatly appreciate you guys joining us today. As always, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. That way you can keep up with all the action we got going on here inside the shop, as well as what we're doing on the racetrack as well. As you can see, our fuel cell came in last night. UPS dropped it off around 6 o'clock yesterday. And I'll finally be able to show you this crazy idea I got in my head of how I'm going to marry this aluminum sail with this original NASCAR approved fuel can. What we're going to do is try to utilize this so we don't have to mess with a bladder, because all the bladders eventually leak. So I've kind of got a crazy idea, but when you get done with it, it'll look authentic. However, it will have a fuel cap sticking up out of it, but that's so obviously so we can still get fuel in the car. We had to do that regardless. I didn't want to stick something in through the quick fuel on the side of the car. So ride along with us. Let's see what happens. Okay, here's what the plan is. This fuel cell here is right at 7 inches, just a little over 7 inches. Our fuel cell container or compartment inside the car has about 7.5 inches, close to 8 inches. This fuel cell can is just over 9 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a section out of this fuel can, call it channeling if you will. So we're going to take about 1.5 inches out of it, put this in there, weld it back together. We're still going to utilize this piece here, the regular fuel can. What I'm going to do, at least this is what the plan is, we're actually going to mount this through the top of the can like we normally would, and then we're going to mount it through the top of the aluminum sail. So it'll all be one piece still. We just want to have the leaking rubber bladder. We're going to do away with that, and plus, like I say, we're still going to have this fuel cap. I mean, it's going to be a little weird, but that's just the way it's going to be. So it's just the way it is. All right, anyway, so first thing we'll try to do is try to cut down this fuel cell can, get it marked, and I've got to cut these fittings off. We're going to heliarc all that shut because we'll utilize a pickup on this. So got to get rid of the sending unit and stuff. So I got a buddy of mine that's going to heliarc all that up for us. So let's get started. Okay, this kind of give you an idea of how this is going to work. Pretend this is inside the can. I've got to put an extension on this spout here. Buddy of mine, we're going to weld a little extension so this little cap will stick outside the top of the can. We're going to heliarc all this up. We're going to put a plate over that and weld it, because all that's going to be hidden anyway. You won't be able to see it. Then we're going to make a template here so we can put the filler in here. Then, like I say, we'll do the pickup out of it. So kind of give you an idea of what my crazy plan is here. Okay, what the plan is now, we've got this measured, we've got this laid out, but I don't want to trust this. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and cut this fuel cell short. When this can is inside the compartment, you can't see the edge of it, so you won't know. I mean, you're not gonna know. If I wouldn't have told you, you would have known now. But I'm telling you just to be nice. But anyway, we're gonna cut this off. Then we're going to line it up, and that'll locate those holes perfectly for us, because we only gonna have one shot. I'm not gonna buy another fuel cell, so we're gonna get this cut, and then go from there. webs in there. Okay, you can get the gist how this is going to work now. We'll have a little spout over here in this corner where we'll fill it up, and then you can see now this is all clear, just like what I had planned on. So what we did, we actually slid the sail that way to clear all of these obstructions where these inlets were. So now we got a clear shot to put our inlet in, and you know, you'll never know it. So that's gonna be pretty sweet. They're gonna have a filler cap in it, but that's just the way it is. Okay, one good thing about a project is you can all time change directions. My original plan was to put a plastic sail in and to do it that way we're doing it, and put the cap in there. I could not find a plastic sail that did not have the straps far enough apart. You know, they got the little indentions on each side of the plastic sail, so I couldn't get my filler neck in there, filler neck housing. So we decided to go with this. We had enough room to do it. I didn't like doing this, and I tell you, I got to thinking, you can see I've already test cut this. This went there. You're probably wondering, well, that ain't gonna work good. What I'm gonna do, and this is the way I was gonna do it originally, since my original plan was to go with plastic, but now that we got aluminium, I'm going to, this was already marked top for when the car was built. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this spout out and weld it in there, so we can put the gas cap, pretend that like that. Anyway, we get that cut out. We'll be able to take the cap off there, and even if it's an angle, it doesn't matter. But we will weld that in there. So that's the new plan. So now I got to grind all these off flush. And we got to patch this hole, but that won't be no problem for Ryan McGee. That guy can weld anything. So we got a little bit of change of plans. So we're going to cut a plate, get some mill finish aluminum, and we'll back that in there, and won't be a problem. So that's the new plan. So there you go. So you never know what's going to happen around here, but that's the latest, and that's the way we're going to do it. Okay, I've got this marked. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and drill the holes first, locate those. I wanna get the holes located, so when I go back here and grind this off tomorrow, I just wanna go and get this marked and located before we weld it, so we'll know how much clearance we'll need whenever he fills up those holes. So hopefully this will work well. Putting the bolts in here just to make sure everything stays located. I drill a few holes and I'll put some bolts in there and keep on doing that till we go all the way around. The reason I want to go ahead and do this is before I take it up and weld it, because the outside flange is going to come right here, and he's got plenty of room to weld this hole up. So looks pretty good. So we will, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut that out tonight. And I'm just gonna see if that thing will bolt in there. I kind of can't wait to do it. So figure out how I'm gonna probably take a hole saw and get it started. And I'm probably gonna use a jigsaw, to be honest with you, old-fashioned jigsaw. Voila! Well, now for the moment of truth. Ooh, looks pretty good. Well, I put some 5/16 bolts around here. I'm testing everything. And looks like I think we're going to be fine. And one right there is just a little bit, but hey, that's pretty good. The good thing is we can take this aluminum here now and we can patch those holes. One thing, when I was causing so much vibration, I didn't realize this tube here came out. So I need to go through and probably grind all those down. Let me see what's in there. There's nothing in that one. Oh, look at there. That one's coming loose. You see that lie? There you go. So that's just a hole there. So we can weld that up. So we've got a couple little bit bigger holes to take care of. But anyway, here we go. I'm going in for the night. I think that's a great accomplishment. Okay, welcome back. And the first item of business is I need to build a backing plate so we can put under here like this. What I'm going to do is weld bolts sticking up, coming up through studs, if you will, coming up through the holes so we can bolt this plate down. This has got to go down like that. Well, since it's so thin, I can't tap this. I can't put, I guess I could try to put nut inserts in there, but I don't trust those. So we're just going to put a backing plate and weld bolts up. And I've got a pretty trick way we're going to mount this to the box. And we'll show you that here in a minute. But let's go ahead and get this thing made and get all drilled out. And we will get that installed. Okay, we got this piece cut, and I've gone through here now. Put one bolt through there. We got it marked. Now we will take it out. And we will go in there and punch out these holes with the drill press and get the studs welded on the back side. And then we'll have to mount everything up to make sure it obviously works before I weld everything permanently. But this is not cut perfect. I don't care. You can't see it, but this will help us get this thing one step closer. Okay, got this flange made. So what we'll do now, we'll actually bolt it down there, line everything, bolt it from the bottom, put nuts on the back, then we'll come around and we'll tack all the bolt heads and go ahead and weld them. Then we'll mount this flange, and I'll go ahead and show you how we're going to do this. We're going to drill a couple little 1/8" pop rivets and countersink them to hold it in place. So it'll be a pretty little trick deal to do. So first thing to do is get this lined up, get it bolted up. I'm going to re-drill them first to make sure everything lines up. Then we will tack weld everything. I think I'm going to go buy some bolts because I don't have enough 5/16 bolts, unfortunately. Okay, welcome back. I went up to Tractor Supply and got 24 of these bolts. So you can see now the process. Got these tight, and we will come down and weld the heads down. And then the heads will stick up, or the studs will stick up through there, and this will go down like that. So Actually, it's kind of the way it'll look right there. So we'll have nuts on it instead of wing nuts. I want to do something real quick so I can tighten it down. So we'll get these welded on here real quick, and hopefully it'll go in. That'll be the final test. Okay, we got all the bolts welded in. I'm just going to take all the nuts off real quick. Then we'll test fit it, and hopefully it comes up through the holes in the fuel cell. That's the next step. Okay, got this thing cooled off. I had to go run some water on. It's too hot to hold, but I actually had one bolt. I didn't have tack good enough, but I had this little notch here. I know where this goes, so hopefully this is gonna go in, and we will see. Wow, that's tight. Hey, good news is it goes in. It's a little tight, but I think let's see. Now the telltale sign is that this is go on. Please go on. Yes, that's so. See if we can pull. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, guys. So look at that. Man, is that not trick or what? And I tell you what, it's so tight on the edge of the bolt holes, I don't think I'm going to put the rivets in there to hold it. It looks like just the threads will hold in place when I can get this on. I ordered a new gasket off of eBay today. So anyway. I see one couple of them, like this one here is not perfectly square, but it's going. Oh, okay, now it's pulling up square. Holy cow. Okay, well, let me get this turned around so you can see a little better picture of it. All right, guys, I cannot tell you how much work I put in this thing the last couple of nights, but here you go. I was worried about a couple studs not being exactly straight, but whenever I put the studs on, we got that flimsy plate pulled up straight, they all squared up. So there you go. So what we'll do now, we'll weld up these holes, and that'll be it. So that's how you hide a fuel cell inside of a can. Tell you what, I'll put the whole thing together here for you, and we'll end the video there. Okay, I went ahead and put the receiver back together, put our balls back in, our flip over balls, and so I gotta tighten this nut down a little bit more, bolt. But anyway, I think I got this clocked right. But anyway, let's see if it goes together. I know it's probably going to be tight. Yep. But we can just get a couple of them started. There we go. Because once we get these nuts started, they'll go ahead and pull up. Okay. Okay, well, I'll get these on and we'll set it in there and see what you think about it. All right, guys, here you go. And after many hours, obviously this is all got to be taken back apart. We got to pick up everything, and we got to weld the holes up in the fuel cell. But this is what I did. I didn't show you this. We just took a hole saw, cut a hole in there. We'll helio arc this, in. Then we'll be able to take this cap off and put fuel into the tank to pour it slow. Now this will be up a lot higher. This will be on an angle probably about like that. So hey, you know, we're not doing NASCAR stops, so it doesn't matter. But that kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing here. So there you go. That's it. Now on to the next project. Well, I'm sitting down because I am very tired. I have been on my feet working for many hours getting that fuel cell done, but appreciate the input from my brother and of course from Buddy Parks. And we were able to put 3 minds together and try to come up with a way to do this, and I'm very happy the way it turned out. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and tell your friends about us. I greatly appreciate it. We're up to 730 subscribers. Man, we're like rolling now. Got to get to 1,000. That's our goal. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. Take care.